We all have those times in our lives when we feel sad, and the feeling can last a few hours, a few days, and sometimes maybe even a few weeks.
But how do you know when you're experiencing the normal ups and downs of life versus a long-term real depression?
Yeah, here to help you answer that is the creator of the Neuman Method self-help video program, psychotherapist Gary Neuman. Hey, how you doing?
Good to be back. How are you?
Good to see you.
It is a fine line, isn't it, between feeling crummy and being depressed? And we were talking about the numbers of people who are misdiagnosed.
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, in a recent survey of over 5,000 people, 60% of the people were misdiagnosed, and 75% of them were given medication.
That they didn't need?
That they didn't necessarily need. Now, listen, we're here to say that if you need medication and you're on an antidepressant under a doctor's care and it's working, by all means, stay on it and work with your doctor. But before you, the consumer, just runs to the doctor to get medication, you have to consider that not every doctor who tells you you have a prescription means you actually have the medical criteria for depression.
And what are those?
Yeah, how do you know?
So those become more of that functional problem. It's the kind of blues that last a couple of weeks where you're hopeless, you're not having any type of joy, there's suicidal thoughts. It's a very deep sense, and it's got to last a couple weeks because all of us can be down for a day or two.
Oh yes, especially also if you're grieving or something
Happens in your life.
Divorce,
it could take months to get through things. So situational sadness is there as well. You know, I think for sure during the depression you have to get some kind of help. But what we have to remember is a lot of times people today have such pressure to be happy, happy, happy 24/7 that sometimes they run to the doctor just because they're not happy enough, and that's what we have to reconsider.
Yeah, I think the weird thing about when you get on medicine because you need it, I always wondered, like, when do you know that it's over? Because you're taking something that makes you feel better.
You get nervous about getting
and you're afraid to get off of it because of that. So what do you do?
Many doctors, you have to do it under the care of a doctor. That's for sure. Many doctors will keep somebody on antidepressant for 9 months to a year before even considering lowering the dose and seeing how the person works at that point. But there are things that you can do for your sadness, whether you're on antidepressants or you're not.
Okay, so we're talking about these are the blues. Are we talking about here, or are we this
for
is the
blues? But let me tell you, these are proven to help you even if you're on antidepressant. You know, people think you take a happy pill and that's it. Antidepressants work much better when you're still getting the rest of your life in order.
Because the blues can lead to depression, right?
Absolutely, right.
All right.
So a lot of us are leading lives where we don't have regular exercise, good nutrition, and good sleeping habits.
Right.
Let me tell you today, do you know how many, we sleep an hour less today on an average night than in the 50s. So here we are doing more than ever before, getting less sleep. Well, you know what that's a recipe for? Sadness and depression. So sometimes we've got to look at life and say, how can I get a little better nutrition, exercise? How do I sleep better? That could change.
And also looking at other people's lives that seem to have it all.
Like on Facebook or something?
Yes, it's annoying because you're like, oh my God, my life is crummy. Look at their life. And you feel worse that way.
There are studies that show that social media leads to depression.
So what
because,
do you do?
Well, you realize, first of all, that the person, not everybody has the new car and the new love interest. They're not showing you photos of when they can't get out of bed in the morning.
That's exactly right.
So it is a matter of saying, how do I change my life? Do you have something this week that you have to look forward to? You know, taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's really allowing you to love yourself, and then you can love the other people who depend on you. We can't forget that message.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you so much.